Other small things that we can do include close physical proximity. You know, it's very soothing to the animal brain to be close to another person. Now, you have to be careful of how your nervous system is. If you're really out of whack and out of balance and you're not in your zone, think twice about moving closer to your child or your student or your client. But certainly if you're coming from a really grounded, and we need as parents, can't be overstated, as parents, educators, healers, we need to be grounding ourselves at all times. We need to feel our feet on the ground. We need to feel our butts planted in the chair. We need to be breathing deeply in through our nose, filling our belly up with air. There's a whole neuroscience behind that, but just know that that's extremely important to do so that you stay in your zone. And then your close physical proximity to another can be very, very healing. Even touch, you know, it's not, you don't have to be there making them okay. It's really important that you're always communicating that they can be okay. They can contain their energy and that you're here to help them do that. So you don't want to be rescuing. You don't want to be making them feel like you have to hold them together, right? But that, you know, you communicate that they can contain their energy, that you're here to support them, and maybe just a light pat on the back sometimes, if you're an educator or a parent, can be really soothing to them. That's another small thing to do. I want to get back to, you know, this oppositional defiance disorder, and one thing that you can do as a parent or a teacher, if you're giving a direction and they're not right away following the direction, they're in the freeze, right? We can help them get out of that freeze state by approaching them in an entirely different way. First of all, approach them with a smile, right? A genuine smile. When you approach them with that smile, then their defenses go down and their animal brain becomes more soothed, right? So you want to approach them with a smile, and you want to create some space and time for them to come out of the freeze to respond to your request. So you might say, you approach them with a smile, and you might say, I'm going to ask you to do something for me, right? So now you're introducing that you're about to give a direction. So you don't go straight into your command, but you give space and time by saying, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. And then, you know, they're there and they're trying to be in that brain that understands words. Very hard for them to do, but you're smiling and you're approaching in a safe way, and you're giving them that time and space. And then you give them the direction. You know, I'd like you to go put your backpack in your cubby, or, you know, I'd like you to go make your bed in your bedroom. And they sort of sit there for a minute, right? Now, they may sit there for a minute in that freeze, and that may really sort of push your button and agitate you if you're not in your zone especially. So you have to be in your zone. You have to approach them in a genuinely, you know, comfortable way where you're smiling. You get their defenses down. And then you tell them that you're going to ask them to do something, and then you ask them to do something. And if they're still in that freeze, you don't say, do I have to tell you again, right? Because you notice what happens, right? Remember what they're tuning into. They're tuning into your facial expression, your body language, your gesturing, right? The tone of your voice. So if that changes in any way on the threatening side, then all you're doing is deepening the freeze state. But if instead you say something like, do you want me to repeat that? I can. That's no problem, right? You just communicate, do you need me to say that again? I'm happy to, right? And then they say, yeah, could you say that again? That's an entirely different approach. Do you see? You're creating space and time for their free state to thaw, and you're approaching in a way that soothes the animal brain by smiling and, you know, approaching from this zone place that you're in. You're in your optimum zone. And then you give them, you know, I'm gonna ask you to do something for me, and then you ask them, and then you say, would you like me to repeat that? I can, that's no problem, right? It's just, you know, it's just all about relationship. I get you. I understand where you're coming from. I understand how your brain's been changed. I'm here to help. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not gonna come at you from some perfect place like I've got it all together, that I don't have an animal brain, I don't go into it, what's your problem, right? You know, you need some help. It's so different what I'm talking about. It's just this place of, I'm human, I mess up, you're being human, you're messing up, I'm here to help you. And that's entirely different, right? It doesn't mean you don't give consequences, it's that you give them with compassion. You give them with this new knowledge and new understanding that if they could do better, they would do better. So it's all these small little things that we do. But I just, what does Mother Teresa say? You can do no great things, only small things with great love. And that's what I'm talking about doing lots of small things with great love that add up. The neuroscience has shown us they add up in this cumulative way on the nervous system and brain over time, so that it's changed back into this healthy direction, so that the soothing, calming part of the nervous system gets triggered or stimulated, so that self-regulation becomes possible again. And all this arousal, either too high or too low, just comes back into that optimum range. So there is no big answer. There is no big intervention program or plan, right? What did one wise person say? Programs don't change people, people change people.